Greetings, I'm Professor K, and in this short video presentation we're going to see how we go about transferring the flexible single master operations roles up inside of our Active Directory domain. Everything you ever wanted to know about operation master roles and their function inside of the domain and how they work on domain controllers can be found in the lab file that accompanies this video tutorial. For this lab you will be required to have at least 2 domain controllers, either Server 2012 or Server 2016, running Active Directory, and one of those needs to be your root domain controller and the other one can be a replica. In this lab scenario we are currently located on my root domain controller for my domain, and I need to take it down for repair. But before I can do this, I need to transfer all 5 operation master roles over to another domain controller. Since my DC1 is to Forest root, it will have all 5 operation master roles working on it. I need to transfer all 5 of those operation master roles over to the replica for my root domain controller before I take it down. The 3 domain specific operation master roles are available up inside of Active Directory users and computers, and we're now going to see how we go about accessing those 3 roles. To do this, I'm going to go up to Tools, and from the context menu I'm going to scroll on down and I'm going to open up Active Directory users and computers. To find the 3 operation master roles that are domain specific to this machine, I'm going to right click on the name of my domain and I'm going to select from the context menu Operation Masters. These are the 3 domain specific operation master roles that every domain controller on the network will have. There's the RID, there's the PDC, and the infrastructure roles. This is also where you will find which domain controller in your domain is currently the operation master for that particular role. Currently the operations master for this particular operation master role of RID is DC1. I can click on the PDC tab and we'll see that it is also DC1. And if I click on the infrastructure tab, it will also tell me that this is DC1. I'm now going to attempt to transfer all 3 of these roles over to my replica domain controller DC2. To do this, I'm just going to click on the change button and we get an error message. The current domain controller is the operations master. To transfer the operations master role to another computer, you must first connect to it. We're going to say OK. We're going to close this. And we're going to go back over here to our left window pane, and again we're going to right click on the name of our domain. From the context menu we're now going to select Change Domain Controller. Here we have a listing of all the current active domain controllers on my network. I now need to connect to the receiving domain controller before I can transfer the role off of this DC1. So I'm going to select DC2 from my options and I'm going to click OK. And now when I right click on the name of my domain and I go to Operation Masters and I push on the change button, it comes up and asks me, are you sure you want to transfer this operation master role? As you can see, for this to work, the receiving domain controller must be up and on the network for this to succeed. I'm going to go ahead and click on No, and you'll do this for each of these operation masters that you want to transfer. We can close out Active Directory users and computers, and again we're going to go to Tools and we're going to select this time Active Directory Domains and Trust. To transfer the domain naming operations master, we have to go up inside of the console for Active Directory Domains and Trust. This is one of 2 Forest specific operation masters that will only be found on the Forest root. To transfer this operation master role, we're going to go to the very top of our left window pane, and where you see the icon, we're going to right click and from the context menu select Operations Master. Again, we can verify that currently DC1 holds this operation master role. Again, if we want to change this machine's operation master status and transfer this operation master role to another domain controller, we click on the change button. And it tells us again the current Active Directory domain controller is serving as the operations master. To transfer the operations master's role to a different computer, you must first connect to it. We'll click OK to that. Let's close this out. Let's go back over to the left window pane. This time we're going to right click and we're going to select Change Active Directory Domain Controller. Again, we're going to select the receiving domain controller for this operations master role. I'm going to click OK to that. Now I'm back over in the left window pane. I will right click and again I will go to Operations Master. Now when I click on the change button, I get that confirmation requirement to complete the transfer. Again, I'm going to click No, and I'm going to close this out. We can close out the Active Directory Domains and Trust Snap-in, and that brings us back over to Server Manager. We can now close out Server Manager, and that brings us to our desktop. Our final operations master is going to be the Schema operations master, and by default it is not installed. So the first thing we will have to do is open up a command prompt and register the DLL. To begin the process of registering the DLL for the Schema operations master, let's go to the search bar and let's type in CMD, and up here where it says command prompt, right click and select Run as Administrator. To register this DLL, we're going to use the registry service, and to do this I've typed in REG SVR32. Follow that up with a space, and then I type in the name of the DLL I wish to register. In this case, this is for the Schema Operations Master. The name of that DLL is SCHMMGNT.DLL. I'm now going to hit enter, and it comes back and it tells me that I have succeeded in registering this DLL. You can say OK to the confirmation message. Go ahead and close out your command prompt. For this next step, we're going to need a run line. So hold down the Windows key and press R at the same time. Brings up the run line, and in the open dialog box, type in MMC and then press OK. We're next going to go to File, and underneath the context menu we're going to select Add Remove Snap-in. The Active Directory Schema is the second one. From the top, we're going to go ahead and highlight that, click on Add, and then click OK. Again, we will need to connect to the receiving domain controller before we can transfer the operations master. So to do this, I'm going to right click on the name of the Snap-in Active Directory Schema, and I'm going to click on where it says Change Active Directory Domain Controller, and I'm going to select DC2 and press OK. Say OK to that. Back at the left window pane, I'm going to go back up to where it says Active Directory Schema, right click, and this time I'm going to choose Operations Master. And again, it tells us that the current Schema Master is DC1 and it is online, and that I'm wanting to transfer this over to DC2. To do this, I can just click on the Change button, and again, we have to confirm or not that we want to complete the transfer. I'm going to go ahead and click the No button. I'm going to click the Close button, and we can close out this console. So as you witnessed in this short video presentation, it's not that difficult to transfer the operations master roles as long as the primary domain controller holding those roles is available and we have another DC to receive those roles. So in this short video presentation, you got to see how we go about identifying the machine that has the current operation master roles installed on it. And then we got to see how we go about transferring those roles over to another domain controller. The operation master roles, for the most part, are critical to the operation of your Active Directory. Inside the lab file, we break out each of the operation masters and we explain specifically what their role is inside of the domain. That's going to conclude the short video presentation on transferring the operation master roles for Active Directory in either Server 2012 or Server 2016. So if you have any questions or you have any concerns about any of the material that was covered in this video or the lab file, please do not hesitate to reach out and contact your instructor, and I'll see you in my next video.